I'll put a piece of here. Religious beliefs are a form of mental illness, and Christianity is the worst. Here is a genocide committed by these deluded folks on witches, demons, and other imaginary friends.
A fearsome being of fairy tale and myth, she has haunted the human consciousness for thousands of years.
Represents the dark side of the female presence. She is the shadow. She is the woman out of control.
The image of the witch has undergone a strange transformation.
There you go, Christians. Learn.
Witches have been around as long as the human community has been trying to deal with disease and avert disaster. It may be that they developed from early goddess cults.
Dating back 20,000 years, revered for their magical ability to enhance fertility and nurture the land.
There you go, Christians.
All-powerful creation deities
Venus of Willendorf
sway over the forces of the universe. In ancient Mesopotamia, she was called Inanna, the Queen of Heaven.
Just like
As Isis.
There you go.
In the land of Canaan, she was Ashura. All of them were supreme goddesses who presided over the sacred forces of life and death.
In ancient times, the rays of the sun and the penis, represented here by men, were the creator gods who penetrated the earth and the womb to create human beings. This is the penis of Delos, a god.
Sustenance, the cycles of nature, on the reproductive capacities of the earth to survive, and the association of those natural forces
They
with the
worship
female
the
body, and
K
therefore the
of creation.
identification of the female as sacred
Exactly.
makes perfect sense.
River of life was the milk, and the men have the milk of the milk from the penis of the gods and the breast of the goddess. In this depiction of John the Baptist, the hoof of the lamb became his penis, the creator tool of God. In this painting by Caravaggio, the wingtip of this angel clearly points toward his penis, the creator God. Christ and Satan have a penis. The penis is represented by a snake. One is a good snake, the other one a bad snake. The dichotomy is obvious. Here the sun god Apollo is represented with a snake, which is used for healing, a good snake. He was the model for Christ, and here is depicted with a halo of sun rays. Here is the good snake of Christ on a tropaeum, or a symbol of victory, the cross. Here the god Aeneas carrying a tropaeum, which is a symbol of the sun.
This medieval period of torture.
People, this is reality.
Degrees of torture.
You see the cross there?
And that the third degree
The stick?
is the degree that
That's a
killed
Roman
the person
symbol
tortured.
of exilium. Not an instrument of torture like the stupid Christians believe it is. Banners and the signs of the gods and spoils of war are hung from crosses, as shown here in the Trajan column. The cross was never an instrument of torture. The tooth fairy is dangerous, Satan is dangerous, Mickey Mouse is dangerous, and Santa is dangerous, the stupid idiots.
Even under torture, the witch was viewed as highly dangerous.
See? That's retards.
Witches confessed to the most heinous of crimes simply to avoid more suffering.
The christ-psychotics believe this of the Jews. The Jews were Christ killers. And that's the reason they've been persecuted all the time. Not only the witches. Christ-psychosis is a perversion. It's worse than AIDS. It's the worst neurological disorder ever. These people ought to be treated. They're running around loose in the street where there's a stupid psychosis that is affecting all of us.
By the late 14th century, one form of heresy was judged to be especially malevolent.
Witchcraft is defined as the most heinous of all forms of heresy because it is when you sell your soul to the devil, and it puts not just the individual, not just the church at risk, it puts all of society at risk.
Those who practiced witchcraft believed they could fly.
High on
One
drugs.
German physician of the time, Johann Weyer, suggested that the fantasies of flight were actually a result of witches anointing themselves with a hallucinogenic drug called datura.
The ingestion of psychotropic substances over 30,000 years ago created religious beliefs and these delusions. There's no reason to have them today. Here you have Amanita muscaria and flowers, psychedelic flowers like Pegamum harmala.
Europe was overrun by a mysterious plague known as the Black Death. As the scourge swept across the land, Whole villages were decimated.
And this is all documented.
Town in the 16th century captured the horror of the burning times more shockingly than Würzburg, Germany. This fear came the belief that this misfortune was the work of the devil himself. Throughout Europe, the Church established a tribunal known as the Inquisition to root out all religious heretics.
Nice, Christ.
So
the brain created God. Brains are stuck in the Middle Ages are christ-psychotic and retarded.
Prohibited sexuality had a fascinating appeal to the people of that time, especially when we consider that celibacy and control of sexual impulse
by the church
been considered,
don't forget,
an appropriate expression.
Come on, mention Christians, the pieces of shit christ-psychotics. Shit christ-psychotics. They're because of all these problems.
1486, a book was written to assist the witch hunters in the grim task of identifying and prosecuting witches.
Christians,
The work
witch
was entitled
hunters, people,
the
come
Malleus
on.
Maleficarum, or the Hammer Against Witches. Springer and Heinrich Kramer.
Dominican monks.
The Malleus expressed a prevailing belief of the time.
Christian,
that women were
retarded,
sexually
ignorant
vulnerable
idiots.
beings. Easy prey for the devil.
See how stupid these people were? They stagnated the intellect.
What else is a woman but a foe to friendship? They are evil,
So they are
vain,
retarded.
and lustful. All witchcraft comes from carnal lust,
Yep.
which is, in women, insatiable.
Women's will bad.
Malleus Maleficarum.
That's the reason the Catholic Church doesn't
There have
have
been witch hunting manuals before
any
the printing of
women in the
Malleus
priesthood.
Maleficarum. It was actually Jacob Sprenger and Heinrich Kramer who linked lust and
Germans,
particular
people,
condition of women's
when the Holy
bodies
Roman Empire,
to
the Christian
demonology and witchcraft.
Germany, that's where Hitler came
Very
from.
specific. I mean, it's
Christian Hitler.
incredibly detailed. How do you know witches? How do you target them? For example, you never begin asking someone, "Are you a witch?" You ask them, "When did you be?"
The lurid descriptions in the Malleus would serve as a manual for zealous witch hunters.
Christians!
This book
Damn.
of intolerance and persecution was, in its
Damn.
own time, second only to the Bible in popularity.
Well, you tell like it is.
Hatred. The flames of the Inquisition seemed unquenchable. Soon
course.
thousands would be snared in the web of terror and betrayal.
They were all over
Once the accused witches were arrested,
christ-psychotic
the
infected
true horror
Europe.
began. The victims of the persecution that the Malleus helped to inspire were often the people who were doing the most to help their community.
See? See? People that deal with herbs and
Villagers felt that they had been harmed magically, that they had been.
this cancer of the brain of the Protestant persuasion, christ-psychosis, after devastating Europe, arriving in the Americas in 1622 on board of the Mayflower. The natives were doomed. The christ-psychotic Puritans had arrived, and this cancer of the brain devastated the natives. Children should be told the truth. It was a genocide.
Salem had endured 20 years of Indian wars. It was racked by internal pressures.
The hidden
Land disputes
Indians.
and deep religious divisions tore at the struggling community.
Christian divisions, people, not religious. Christ-psychotic division. The retards are fighting one another because they believe in different things.
It offered little comfort. It's the beginnings of the witch hysteria of 1692 to the home of a Puritan minister.
Reverend, the retard.
Surprisingly, the event which sparked the ensuing terror was a child's game.
Which was christ-psychosis, causing the Holocaust. Christian Hitler killed millions. And then we have the KKK and all the Aryan supremacy groups and Jim Jones massacre. 900 people committed suicide for, to go to Christ. And the rest of insanity. Christ-psychosis Christianity is a perverted, immoral religion. This director of Psychopathy has a boy on his hat. The man is mentally ill.